Imagine a wonder of the ancient world so spectacular, so breathtaking that tales of it echoed through centuries. Yet, there's a catch. No one can prove it ever existed. Today, we're diving into the enigma of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world that might have been a complete myth. So, what were these legendary gardens supposed to be? Picture this, a magnificent multi-tiered structure rising from the flat, arid plains of ancient Mesopotamia. A man-made mountain of lush greenery filled with exotic trees, fragrant flowers, and cascading vines. Waterfalls would have tumbled down its sides, creating a cool, verdant paradise in the middle of a sun-baked city. It was said to be an oasis of beauty, a testament to human ingenuity and power. To understand the gardens, we first have to understand Babylon. Located in modern-day Iraq, Babylon was one of the most powerful and famous cities of the ancient world. Under King Nebuchadnezzar II, who reigned in the 6th century BC, the city reached its peak. It was a sprawling metropolis, protected by massive walls and home to incredible architecture. Like the towering ziggurat known as the Tower of Babel and the vibrant Ishtar Gate, decorated with blue-glazed bricks and images of mythical beasts. Babylon was a center of culture, science, and trade. If any city could have supported such an extravagant project, it was Babylon. The most romantic story behind the gardens is a tale of love. According to legend, Nebuchadnezzar built the gardens for his wife, Queen Amadis. She came from Media, a mountainous and green region in what is now Iran. Homesick for the rolling hills and lush forests of her homeland, she found the flat, dusty landscape of Babylon depressing. To lift her spirits and make her feel at home, the king commissioned this incredible, mountain-like garden. It was a grand romantic gesture, a symbol of a king's love for his queen, built to replicate a landscape she deeply missed. Think about the engineering challenge here. Building a terraced garden of this scale in the desert was an incredible feat. How did they get water to the very top? The Euphrates River flowed through Babylon, but lifting that water hundreds of feet into the air against gravity would have required sophisticated technology. Ancient writers describe a system of pumps, possibly a chain pump, or an early version of the Archimedes screw. Slaves or laborers would have worked in shifts, continuously turning a mechanism to raise water from the river, which then flowed down through channels to irrigate each level. The structure itself would have needed to be waterproofed with materials like bitumen and lead to prevent leaks and structural damage. It was a marvel of hydraulic engineering, far ahead of its time. Now, here's where things get tricky. Who actually saw these gardens? Several Greek and Roman writers like Strabo, Diodorus Siculus, and Quintus Curtius Rufus described the Hanging Gardens in vivid detail. They wrote about the terraced structure, the irrigation system, and the beautiful plants. But there's a major problem. None of them ever visited Babylon while the gardens supposedly existed. They were writing centuries after the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, basing their accounts on even earlier texts that are now lost. It's like hearing a story passed down through generations. Details can get exaggerated or even completely made up along the way. Even more confusing, the one person you'd expect to mention the gardens is completely silent on the matter. Herodotus, the Greek historian who visited Babylon in the 5th century BC, wrote extensively about the city's walls and temples. But he never once mentions any spectacular hanging gardens. And even more damning, Babylonian texts from Nebuchadnezzar's time, which list his many construction projects in great detail, make no mention of them either. You'd think building one of the wonders of the world would be worth a mention, right? This silence is one of the biggest arguments against their existence in Babylon. So if the gardens weren't in Babylon, where could they have been? This leads us to a fascinating theory proposed by Dr. Stephanie Daly, an Oxford University scholar. She suggests that everyone has been looking in the wrong place. She argues that the Hanging Gardens were actually located in the city of Nineveh, about 300 miles north of Babylon. The builder wasn't Nebuchadnezzar, but the Assyrian king Sennacherib, who ruled a century earlier. Why Nineveh? Well, for starters, Sennacherib was a known garden builder. Cuneiform tablets from his reign describe a magnificent palace, without rival and a garden that was a wonder for all peoples. He also documented the complex system of canals, aqueducts, and water-raising screws he built to bring water to the city from the mountains. Reliefs carved on the walls of his palace in Nineveh even show a lush, terraced garden with trees and an aqueduct. Furthermore, ancient Assyria was sometimes referred to as Babylon, which could have led to the geographical confusion over time. This theory elegantly explains the detailed descriptions of the gardens and their advanced irrigation, while also accounting for the lack of evidence in Babylon itself. It shifts the story from a Babylonian love story to an Assyrian display of power. So were the Hanging Gardens a myth or a reality? The truth is, we still don't know for sure. There are three main possibilities. 1. The gardens were a real historical marvel located in Babylon, built by Nebuchadnezzar, and for some reason, all physical and written evidence from Babylon itself has vanished. 2. The gardens were real, but they were in Nineveh, built by Sennacherib, and the story got mixed up over the centuries, incorrectly attributing them to Babylon. 3. The Hanging Gardens were never a real place. They were a purely literary creation, a romanticized ideal of an Eastern garden that captured the imagination of Greek and Roman writers, evolving into a legend over time. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon remain the most elusive of the seven wonders. They represent a fascinating intersection of history, legend, and archaeology. Whether they were a king's gift to his lonely queen, a rival king's show of dominance, or simply a beautiful story, they continue to inspire awe and wonder. They remind us that sometimes the most powerful places are the ones that live on in our imagination, forever green and vibrant, even if they were never truly there at all. The search for evidence continues, and maybe one day a definitive answer will be unearthed from the sands of Iraq. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the past. What do you think? Were the gardens real? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this mystery, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more dives into ancient enigmas. See you next time.